of the kitchen. I remember this was a door into the time clock room, this was a door into the office because they didn't want our muddy feet in the office. We could wear our muddy feet into the kitchen, but not into the office, I guess. I think that's because my wife Jan was part of the office at that time. So, since then we have remodeled this building and added on to it three times since then. But it was quite a change. It had an overhang roof to keep the supplies dry most days with prevailing winds, and kind of fun to look back and see this. This is a picture of our fall field days. This is back in the days when we used to have sales out at the Taylor Ridge site, and after we bought the second nursery site across the highway, it got too complicated. We just couldn't track where the trees were being tagged and stuff. So we did drop that, but it was a fun time for our customers to come out, take a hay rack ride around, get dropped off different parts of the field, make your selections for fall digging. And this is Jack and I, probably in the 80s, calipering, getting a tree ready to dig. You can see the tree spade blades behind here. For those of you who've ever seen a tree spade, it's hydraulic, and the blades push down into the ground hydraulically. You turn it, you lift it, cut the bottom off, set it into that basket that you saw earlier, and twine it. That's an old machine, and we still have that same machine. It's a great machine. We have another tree spade besides that now too. Okay, in 1990 we bought 125 acres across the way from the existing nursery site, and it wasn't on production. 140 acres, 190 acres would be a lot of field production for a business our size. A lot of it was timber and rolling hills, but that allowed us to grow enough for our growing landscape business. We opened the garden cottage in 1997. Unique gifts and accessories for your home and garden is what our slogan was on that. And Nancy Stevens was our manager of that, and also our decorator for wreaths and floral and silk floral and that. We did not get into fresh floral though. The garden cottage, we also expanded to the village of East Davenport, which we were just so excited about. And we didn't realize that 65% of our business for the garden cottage, Moline, was from Iowa. So we doubled our overhead and expenses and had the same number of customers practically. So that one did not stay open real long. But and since then we did close down the garden cottage, but we have still got the gifts and accessories, but we don't have all the decorating in that. But with the slowdown in the economy, it just was not quite panning out the way it needed to cover things. But the garden cottage was an exciting part of our business for years. This is kind of funny to look at. Larry Carr here is our garden center manager, and Larry's ready to retire. I think next spring is his plan. At 64, somewhere around, it's about 64 years old. He always looked young, but man, he looked like a little kid here. And then this was Frank and Jorge, two of our Mexican employees who were just great employees. But they actually, these trees are huge, and they all have to be unloaded with tractor, fortunately not by hand, but those are probably close to a ton of soil on each of those. And I think that's about it on that. The one thing that picture does show, no job's too large or too small for Myers, but we can sell you a spruce tree this tall up to the size you saw on that trailer. We try to have all sizes available for all people's needs and income levels and what their ability to spend. This is a picture of the garden cottage entry in Moline, and this was our village of East Davenport garden cottage at the bottom right. You can see it was fun. This is actually our perennial sales area. This area has not changed much except for the garden cottage sign is down. We still have that same building and all the plant materials. Of course, the village of East Davenport store is now a pizza place, but it's still the same building. It looks nice, so. In the year 2000, as I said, much more than just a tree farm. Well, let's change our name to who we are. It was our 50th anniversary. We started in 1950. The year 2000 was our 50th anniversary, and Meyer Landscape and Design Inc. was our new name. You don't realize how many things you have your name on as a company until you change your name. It was just amazing. But so the name change. Our staff continued to grow. In the year 2000, we were up to about 65, 68 employees. Payroll about $1.7 million a year. And gross income was about $4.2 million at that time. things have dwindled down a little bit from them with the slowdown and the recession, but just giving you an idea of our economic effect. It's a large payroll, and it goes to a lot of good areas in the community. Moline retail area, we're expanded up to the 20 acres that we have today. And our Moline Garden Center was redesigned. Rather than square bins of railroad ties and square bins, for those of you who've been there, it's created flowing walkways and curved areas of plants, so it looks more like a landscape when you walk through it. It's you don't have to buy to come out here. Just come out and walk around. It's fun to see. So it'll be bare dirt here end of December, and springtime it all comes back to life. Oh, by the way, somebody asked if there's still time to plant. Yes. Fall is for planting. Fall is a great time for planting. So anybody still thinking about moving plants in your yard or doing anything, this is a great time. And Mary's going to come over and buy something from us, hopefully. So. Okay, this is a shot of my brother and his kids, John, Allison, and Julie. And this is me and my dad and my son, Drew, and Evan. Drew's a landscape architect in Seattle, and Evan's a graduate of ornamental horticulture from Wisconsin. Evan's working with us now in the business, and just recently Drew accepted a position with us. He'll be starting with us in March, moving back from Seattle. So we're excited to have him join us too. So Allie, Julie, and John. John's an engineer for Motorola, possibly relocated to Seattle, we just found out. And Allie works for John Deere Insurance, not John Deere, United Healthcare. And Julie is married, and her husband is in the Army, and John is in Arizona, and she's in Washington, D.C. right now while he's going through some intelligence training. But the name change reflects more who we are, more what we do. We do landscape, irrigation, hardscapes, which would be patios and brick and retaining walls and all that. We have our garden center, 2 garden centers, Taylor Ridge, Moline, with plants and accessories for the home and garden. And then, so Meyer Landscape Design is our name now, and hopefully on into the future. Thanks. Office redesign. We added on to the office. We have room for all of our office staff. Our office staff of 3 people, and then we have 6 designers. And but the expansion worked out well. We updated the building a little bit more of a modern look to it, but still a landscape office look, and it's worked out very well for us. This is a picture of our Moline Garden Center and sales area. You can see the curving pathways, the different color variations, kind of creates a landscape look while you're shopping. The use of the accessories throughout the garden center. We try to have a focal point about every 20 feet as you walk through the garden center, something to catch your eye is kind of our goal. And our staff does such a great job of changing the garden center around. I'll go out to look at a plant with a customer and it's been moved to a different location. It's kind of a test to see if we've been out of the office, I think, at times, but it works out great. But you can see the use of Japanese maple for the purple, the bench setting in here, kind of like you would do in a yard, only things are grouped together much tighter because it's a sales area too. In 2005, we relocated our growing and production area to a new site of 195 acres. Part of the reason for that was we had road commissioner problems and we could get nowhere with the state of Illinois or the state police or the sheriff. They would not allow our trucks to roll from October 15th till May 15th. But they allowed garbage trucks, school buses, everything except for our vehicles, but it was really frustrating. But the move has been great. We're on Route 192 now. We're on a 4-lane highway, or 2-lane highway, excuse me. We have 18 hoop houses that we grow our above ground landscape materials in and perennials. There's usually about $550,000 worth of plants growing in containers out there at one time. We have the varieties of trees, shrubs, and evergreens growing in the field for the B&B plant material. And we still cultivate plants hardy to our region. If it's not hardy, it's not going to survive our field production, so that's how we know that. And of course we pick plants that are hardy for our area. And we still, mostly locally grown, we do buy in some of our plant material though. This is a sample of the hoop house production or container production. The plants are grouped tight together in these houses for overwintering with plastic over those, not heated, just to keep the temperature equalized. And then during growing season, everything is spaced out so they have room to grow and be selected for bringing into town or to the other garden center. Here, this is our new Taylor Ridge site. Here you can see the hoop houses. Some of them are put with shade over them for the hosta production. You can see these are not ready yet. You can see these are in production. You can see the plants that are ready to be pulled. And our staff goes through and picks the best plants out of that and lets the others grow so they're ready to come into the production. You can see part of the garden center set up with the statuary and different things here too. But that's our Taylor Ridge site. Here you can see the smaller tree spade there on the upper right, and various sizes, as I said before, to meet everybody's needs. This is how we bring the trees into town. We actually hire flatbeds to haul our trees to town in the spring, and we don't have road commissioner problems anymore with that. Here you can see some of our field production. You can see the trees are pretty well cloned into one shape. They're almost all cultivars that are grafted, so you get the cloned effect almost automatically, but the pruning and care is still required. This smaller tree spade is a 3-blade tree spade that'll dig up to a 36-inch ball. Our other tree spade will go up to a 52-inch size ball. So in 2008, we opened the new Taylor Ridge site. Right before the slowdown in the economy. It was not timing, but it's worked out fine. But we had these great plans in mind, and then everything slowed a little bit for most businesses. But Taylor Ridge opened for business. It serves our Quad City customers plus our outlying Quad City customers, and also really touches into Muscatine, Aledo, those areas. Muscatine's been a very big part of ours. We also are working with other small landscapers on re-wholesale purchases out there too, so they can come out and buy plants more affordably rather than we produce, so they can buy plants for their own jobs. And then we opened the retail store in Taylor Ridge. Our design staff works both locations, but we do have somebody out there in summertime on weekends, and continue growing and cultivating hardy plants for our landscape needs. This is our office, and office upstairs and garden center on the first floor, and then employee area in back. But kind of fun building for the Taylor Ridge site. This is the inside sales area of the Taylor Ridge Garden Center. And again, a touch of this, we've got a little more variety in Moline, but we got a touch at both locations for the customers. This is part of the outside sales area for the retail area, and they created this rooftop garden on top of an arbor, which is kind of fun. Oh, but yeah. I'm not sure how much that weighs up there, but it's structurally sound enough. It's stayed for 3 years, I think, now. But it's really a fun planting. We also have started a garden club out in Taylor Ridge, and I think they've got 36 members out there now. It's going very well. And we did a lighting seminar out there this summer, and I think we had 52 people attend that, but I think the garden center is growing, and we're looking at getting a garden club going in Moline here too, as our hopes, and do a monthly meeting. And the garden club gets special discounts that day and the following day, and they all get a gift when they come too, and it's been fun. It's been a good group of people, and there's a lot of people into plants. At present, in Moline, we have our retail center and our backfield operation, which is where we grow plant material in the field still in Moline. Our staff is unsurpassed in knowledge, honestly. Any question you have, if the staff doesn't know it, they'll get the answer for you through one of us or through research. We do seminars, field trips, and community involvement has always been an important part of our business. It is a park-like atmosphere in Moline and Taylor Ridge. And the variety of plants on the 20-acre garden center and growing fields is unsurpassed anywhere in this area, and actually for a lot of the Midwest. Our trees, evergreens, shrubs, perennials, benches, containers, our home decor. It's a fun spot. And we have a new line of toys for kids that we just brought in for this fall season, Christmas, and next spring. It's really an awesome thing. If you have grandkids or children, you want to stop in and see this.